Hi, I'm Mike, and today we continue with a series called How to Become a Rancher, taking us through the processes of choosing why, how, and now where to ranch on our Wyoming Life. So, you want to be a rancher? Well, to be a rancher, you need land, and that's going to take a little bit of planning on your part. Mark Twain and Will Rogers had one thing in common. Mark Twain was a famous writer, of course, and Will Rogers a cowboy, an actor, and a writer as well. They both lived at the turn of the century, as people were moving out west and staking their claims on homesteads, even throughout this area, like this one, right here on this very ranch. Both Twain and Rogers put forth a sentiment in the early 1900s that said, buy land, they're not making it anymore. Welcome back. As we continue to look at the process of becoming a rancher. So far, we've taken a look at the challenges you'll face, as well as the important decisions you'll have to make about what kind of rancher you want to be. Please subscribe by clicking the little red button, and come along as we explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary. To ranch or farm, well, it takes land. It's the one thing you can't do without. Your herd will grow and shrink along with your bank account, but hopefully the land you hold will be the one thing that you can count on. Land is, of course, an investment. My father-in-law Gilbert used to always say that he was land rich and cash poor. It's a simple way of saying that, well, your land may be the most expensive thing you ever own in your entire life on your entire operation. Owning a farm or a ranch can be exciting and, take it from me, a fulfilling lifestyle. If you're looking to pass traditions on to the next generation, this is a great place to do it. However, it's not anything to be taken lightly. Mark Twain and Will Rogers might have been talking about buying land, but they weren't wrong in saying that they aren't making any more. But the most important part of owning land is taking care of it, because, well, they aren't making any more of the stuff. Part of that is doing your homework and being educated in land purchasing and farm and ranch management. In the next video in this series, we'll take a look at the financial options and different programs to help you meet your goals as a landowner. But today, it's all about finding your ranch and letting your ranch find you. Go and search the internet for ranches for sale. You're going to find thousands of farms and ranches across the nation. In fact, I did a search today. I found 31,092 on one site. And it might seem a little bit overwhelming. Some of the ranches you're going to find are going to be outrageous. Some of the ranches are going to, well, they're going to look more like resorts than ranches. Those ranches are not targeted at working ranchers. To own a slice of rural America is to realize a childhood dream for many people. And now, as the popularity grows, outsider ranchers, or buyers who really don't have any ranching background, and usually they make their money somewhere else than a majority of ranch buyers. Farm and ranch realtors are seeing a huge influx of clients that are high net worth individuals. I'll just say that, with the go west young man attitude, and they have the money to buy the biggest and the best. Rural land values have been on the rise, and in Texas, the average land price reached over $2,800 per acre, compared to $1,000 less just 10 years ago. These prices don't really have anything to do with productivity, they have to do with lifestyle. But if you're going to be a true rancher, land productivity should be first on your mind. Since you've decided already what kind of animals you're going to have on your ranch, you know how much it's going to take to feed them over the year. One of the best ways to make your ranch profitable is to produce as much of that food as possible on site and from your own land. A quick visit to your local Natural Resources Conservation Services office, or NRCS, will help you immensely. How many animals will the land that you're looking at to buy support? We call it carrying capacity, and it's frequently overestimated. If you overestimate, you're going to have to buy food for your livestock, a costly endeavor. but one that you're going to have to deal with really no matter what. Our goal is actually to minimize the amount you have to buy. And by taking advantage of the information the NRCS office has, including in many instances historical data about your ranch, including soil type, precipitation, vegetation, with all that you can accurately predict your land's production potential and know how much land you'll need. Now, when it comes to the size of your ranch, there are quite a few things to keep in mind. A big thing is that everything is proportionate. Here in Northeast Wyoming, we require almost 35 acres to support one cow and her calf for the year. In another part of the country, that can be reduced down to 5 acres or even less, depending on rainfall, forages, and what'll grow for the cows to eat. But remember, we're talking about land productivity, and that's what you're going to pay for as you search for your ranch. The 35 acres for one cow-calf pair here may cost you as little as $400 an acre, totaling $14,000 in land price to produce that one calf. On your other ranch, where you only need 5 acres to raise that same calf, you can pay $3,000 an acre, and end up paying the same amount to raise that calf as we do here in the high desert. This number can be greatly influenced by water, buildings, and the infrastructure in place. The other interesting factor is how income and ranch size is proportionate as well. This is why I tell people not to be afraid to run a smaller ranch. Let's say you have a small ranch, 5 cows. With those 5 cows, you're able to sell 4 of them and keep one back to put in your own freezer to feed you and your family. You have very little overhead, maybe a small tractor to help feed, and you're able to trade with your neighbor to cut hay and bale it. And at the end of the year, you're still able to show profit on the calves that you sell. You're also able to have a part-time job in town because your ranch doesn't take all your time. Let's blow that ranch up and make it 20 times larger. You now have way more land to manage, more fences, more cows. Your ranch itself is a full-time job, and you have a lot more debt and more infrastructure to maintain. And you know what's funny? Your profit margin, pretty much the same as the guy with just 5 cows and a much smaller ranch. No one becomes a rancher to get rich, and those that are, nowadays especially, they might have started that way. The old joke, how to make $1 million ranching, you start with $2 million, still holds true. Each question you answer kind of leads to another. How much of my time will be taken up by the ranch? Where will we buy livestock? What about water rights? And even questions as simple as zoning and land management restrictions may throw a wrench in your plans. Your land is your livelihood, but it's also your biggest responsibility because without it, well, you don't have a ranch. I said earlier that your ranch will find you, and if you know what you want out of your land, livestock, and life, when it does cross your path, you'll notice. May not be huge, but it'll fit you. Don't get hung up on having the biggest and the best. I know that's a problem for some people. In our next episode of How to Become a Rancher, we're going to take a look at the financial side of things. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this one. We will see what options are available out there for new ranchers and farmers, minorities, and women. We'll visit with folks at NRCS, USDA, and banks that will help people get started and headed down a road that might mean a lot of work, but means more satisfaction than any job I've ever had. Thanks a bunch. It's early. I'm off to work myself, and I hope that you get a second to subscribe, hit that thumbs up button or thumbs down, and I'll see you next time. Until then, have a great week, and thanks for joining us in our Wyoming Life.